Yes, from this hell we call Earth, it is the news.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Before we start,
All right.
I came up with a brilliant idea. You know, I come up with those every
I
now
am
and then.
shocked.
I know.
It's
Me too. But
brilliant
but,
idea from Trent.
No, we
I'll
call
be the
this
judge of that, sir.
we call this the poop news.
Uh-huh.
But I really think it should be labeled the rich news. I think we should label it the rich news because I think that would be a lot more.
Are you trying to
appealing
say that my name is synonymous with poop, Trent?
You can deduce that for your own self. But,
that is a low blow. That is a low blow. And I am a master in the art of observation and deduction. And I do deduce that you have just tried to insult me, sir.
I thought it'd give everybody a laugh. You know,
Oh.
I know it gives one person who's listening a laugh, but they will remain nameless.
Oh, it's probably you.
Yeah,
You're laughing right
you go.
now. I know it. But yes,
Oh, yeah.
it is the news, and there is a lot of poop in the poop news today. And this guy, imagine this guy was your neighbor, Trent. Do you have good neighbors, by the way? Do you like your neighbors?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any issue with my neighbors. They're real nice guys. They and gals. You know, they're ladies that live over there, and really nice men too. And yeah, they're extremely nice people. They've been nothing but kind to my family and I. So yeah, I mean, nothing has led me to believe that I should have a problem with them.
So I'm pretty sure Kenneth Clark, a Clearwater man, Trent, from Florida. Kenneth Clark, 64 years old. He's not your neighbor because you know what he did? He walked into his neighbor's driveway in his birthday suit. Do you know what a birthday suit is?
I know what a birthday suit is, and why would he be walking in his neighbor's
No, I'm serious.
driveway
I don't
with
know what a birthday suit is. Do you know what a birthday suit is?
What's that?
I said I don't know what a birthday suit is. Tell me what a birthday suit is.
It's hard to explain. I'll let you figure it out for yourself. But
it's hard to explain. Well, he showed up in his I'm assuming it's this guy's birthday. He showed up in his birthday suit, and he relieved himself on the neighbor's glass patio table. Just started peeing on their table. It was probably a nice table. Got it from IKEA. You know, a couple $100. You don't want some 64-year-old dude peeing on your table. Not that it makes a difference that he was 64, but come on, this dude's in his birthday suit. He's 64 years old. He comes over. He's peeing on your table. And not only, Trent, that's not the best part of this story. Although I don't know how you could say it's the best part of any story. It's the most horrific part. But even more horrific is the fact that not only was this caught on the home security camera, all right? Not only did they catch it on video, but they got two different angles of it.
Really?
Two different angles. And for that alone, I think he should get extra time in jail because that's offensive.
Well, let me tell you, man, speaking of IKEA, you can buy some interesting stuff in there, man. And their stuff is good, too. I mean, it's high priced, some of it, but some of that stuff you can have around your house for 10 to 15 years. Now, that coffee table is the exception because if somebody relieved themselves on it, I think it's, who knows? It might have some stains in it. You know, by the time it's probably done, it's probably toast.
Yeah, we buy this chair from IKEA and pee on it.
Yeah.
That's not cool, dude.
That's the ticket. That's the way to throw money away.
Yeah. Do you realize I bought this at IKEA and you just peed on it?
And now, I mean, everything can be caught on security camera. These days, it seems like everybody's got those rings and they got the all different kind of security systems that they're recording not just video, but your audio as well. So you have to be careful with what you say. Anything you say is recorded. If you come to my house, Rich, anything you say, if you're outside, will pick up on that security camera. So you better watch out.
Oh my goodness, that's incredibly scary. Big Brother is watching. It's all over. But yeah, you know, two different angles on the security video. There's already a TikTok. It's crazy. And basically, this dude was still. The cops show up. They show the cops the video. Then they go to his RV, and he opens the door a little bit, and he's still naked. So this dude doesn't like wearing clothes. He was visibly naked and highly uncooperative, Trent. I don't know. Can you be visibly naked and cooperative in this situation?
I would not think so. But here's
Cop
my
show
question.
up. Yeah.
Here's my question. Did the story say how much alcohol this guy had? Because this had to have been triggered by the precipitating event here. Had to have been how much alcohol this guy had in his system.
Well, this happened at 4:40 in the afternoon, and I think this was just Kenneth Clark being Kenneth Clark. You know, just doing him.
4:40 in the afternoon is pretty late in the day. You could be six sheets to the wind by that time.
That's true. He might be trashed, but you know, I don't know. Something tells me there's something else wrong with this guy.
I wouldn't know because I don't drink.
But you do poop and you do pee, so you know what it would be like to pee on your neighbor's table and to know that that's wrong.
Correct. Yeah, that's
right?
wrong. That's just morally and utterly wrong.
And that should be obvious. But this dude is 64 years old. Like, you know, Trent, you're a younger dude. You came over, you peed on my table. I'd be like, well, Trent's a little younger. He doesn't know any better. But this dude's 64 years old. He should know better.
I think, you know, yes, I am a younger dude, but I'm 23, soon to be 24. So I would think if I didn't know any better whenever I was 23 or 24, then something's really, really wrong with me. I mean, now I could understand if I was, you know, 6 or 7 or maybe even 8 years old, but like once you turn 9, 10, you ought to know by now that you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, you shouldn't pee on the neighbor's table. Come on, you got to know better than that. And you know what this was pretty interesting to me as well, Trent. So dude is he's out on bond. His bond is he's not out on bond. He's in jail. How much do you think bond is, Trent? Get out of jail. Peeing on the table.
I'd say it's over. I wouldn't think he would have a bond.
Yeah, you should just rot in there, right?
I don't know about that. But
throw away a key. He peed on the table. Do you know how disrespectful that is? No, he the bond on this incident is $250. Does that seem fair?
I mean, put a couple of extra zeros on there to make it 250,000. You know, put 3 more zeros on there. As a matter of fact, you know, you got $250,000. Not many people are able to pay that much. Not many people have that in their bank accounts.
You know what? I guarantee you that patio table is worth more than $250.
Oh, absolutely. You what they should do is make the bond the price that the owners paid for the patio table.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's the old eye for an eye. I don't know. Does that make sense? Yep. It's got to be the way to go. It's got to be the way. Anyway, what a neighbor. What a great neighbor. Can you imagine?
Absolutely. What a great neighbor.
Like a good neighbor, Kenneth Clark is there.
Ha 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 ha. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway, now we continue with more toilet news. Oh. You know, rich news. A 3-year-old who was potty training accidentally got a toilet seat stuck on her head. Can you believe this?
That's not good training. Those are terrible parents. What are you talking about? They were potty training her, and somehow her head got in the toilet. She's backwards.
Well, she was in the process of using the facilities, and she yelled for her mother to come and see what was happening. Well, her mother walked in the room and couldn't help but to laugh because she saw the toilet seat stuck over her head. At first, she thought, "Oh, it's okay. I can get this off with no problem." You know, 3-year-olds do some things that are strange. You know, so they do the unthinkable sometimes. But it's just the toilet seat over her head, huh? You know, it's okay. But apparently, she wasn't able to because she had to take her daughter to the emergency room. Well, the emergency room staff got the biggest laugh that they've gotten in quite some time because it took them over an hour to get the toilet seat off of this girl's head.
It sounds like a horrible experience for the little girl. Those people are horrible.
I know. It sounds very horrible. You know, imagine just sitting there. But my question is, how did it get over your head? Like, if you're using the restroom, you're sitting on the toilet seat itself. Like, how I don't understand. I can't wrap my mind
Well,
around
that's
it.
what I'm
How
saying.
did
She got it all wrong. She's backwards. It's terrible parental training. It's just a complete failure of the process. I don't know
I
what
mean,
happened there.
unless she was like puking or something, but that didn't
No,
sound like that's what she was
she
doing.
doesn't even Trent. The kid doesn't even know how to use the toilet to poop in. How is she gonna know how to use it to throw up in?
Well, she
She
wouldn't.
hasn't gotten that training yet.
Exactly, and it doesn't sound like she's getting training in general because
When does
sounds
vomit
like this,
training begin? That's a good question. You know, you got potty training.
yeah. When does the training begin? Yeah. Did you ever? I know that whenever you were 3 years old, that was a very long time ago. But I have to ask you. I mean, I know the answer is going to be no, but did you ever, you didn't get the toilet seat stuck over your head, but did you ever have any like weird incidents like that kind of happened or similar to that?
I was more of the action kid. I required many stitches on my forehead because I kept climbing to heights and falling and jumping
I
on
believe that.
beds and banging my head against, which explains a lot, night tables. So I got a. I was always hurting myself badly because I was very adventurous. I was very adventurous, Trent.
Well, sure. I mean, hey, it's okay to be adventurous. Just don't hurt yourself while in the process.
Oh yeah, I hurt myself. It was a constant thing. I remember one time I was running around the park like a little idiot, and my mom's like, "It's time to go." And I said, just 5 more minutes. You used to do that when you were a kid. Just 5 more minutes.
Oh yeah.
And I'm running, and boom! I ran smack into a pole. My face right into a pole. I had the huge black eye. It was so gnarly looking that the school.
Gnarly. I hadn't heard that word in quite some
How
time.
dare
That's
you, Trent?
gnarly, dude.
How dare you, Trent? That a rancid looking. Grotesque. It just had such a bad look that the school actually was questioning my family. That's how bad my face looked after running into a pole, if you can believe it.
Hey, whenever we were kids, we tried to get everything we could out of our parents. Hey, let's do this. You have to do this now. I was always the 5 more minute person. I was even 2 more minutes sometimes. Like there would be times where I wouldn't want to get out of the pool as a kid, and my mom was like, "Okay, Trent, time to get out." And I'm like, "Mom, can you give me like 2 more minutes, please? Like this water feels so good. I mean, I can't get out. Having a good time." And then there was one time where she wasn't putting up with it, and she said, "If you don't get out right now, we won't be back here." So as soon as she said that, I ran about as fast as a kid could run, getting out of the pool and doing all that. But I was adventurous too. I mean, as an individual who could not see, I was not scared of trying things new. Put it that way.
I'll tell you this, Trent. For that family and the kid that got her head stuck in the toilet seat, potty training not going well. Again, a failure by the parents to accomplish this simple exercise. Trent, what do you think, judging by how well potty training went for this child, do you think school is going to go much better?
I would be saying some prayers if I were those parents.
There are clearly some issues there. They got it all wrong. They got it all wrong. Maybe the kid might end up in a boarding school. Maybe, how about this one, Trent? Students at a Christian boarding school were made to roll around in camel dung to build character. That makes sense, I think. But this is too far. And forced to eat moldy beans as punishment, the lawsuit claims. This is terrible. Students accuse Agape Boarding School and the Agape Church of negligence, battery by staff and fellow students, torture and starvation, according to legal documents obtained by the Daily Mail. One of the mothers says, "I remember him telling me it was normal how he and other kids had been dragged out of bed at nighttime in the middle of the night in the Ozark winter. And anyone who's seen Ozark on Netflix knows how cold it can get."
Oh, yeah.
So Ozark, dragging them out into the night in the Ozark winter and forced to roll around in, quote, camel muck. He said, "That's where I got pink eye He was told that it builds his character. Fernandez, another. Look at this. As a form of punishment, kids were fed special food, a soggy tortilla on a wet cookie tray. I'm gonna throw up with smeared, moldy, refried beans. And you had
I don't like refried beans when they're cooked right, but still, nevertheless, moldy.
A soggy tortilla on a wet cookie tray. Yep, I'm gonna throw up. Oh no. If they threw up, they still had to eat it. And if they didn't, that's what they had for dinner. That's it, and they're being starved. They said the so-called animal therapy never happened. In fact, the only animals they were allowed to interact with were the horses and a young German shepherd who was later shot and killed for misbehaving. What a school! So I guess part of the they say, oh, there's going to be animal therapy at this boarding school, and they only had some horses and a German shepherd that was shot and killed, Trent, for misbehaving. What a boarding school! Can you imagine?
No, I cannot imagine. I mean, I did go to boarding school myself, but it was nothing at all, not even remotely close to what these individuals had to deal with. Now, I went to boarding school, and they made us eat food that we didn't like. And yes, there were times where, you would see kids at the table. If they had to eat like a vegetable they didn't like, you would see kids, kind of puke, or not puke, but kind of gag, if you will. And the dorm staff would say, okay, if you got to eat this, and if you don't get dessert. That was the punishment. You wouldn't necessarily get in trouble, but you wouldn't get in trouble in that. That might send you to bed early if you just refuse to eat something. But in terms of the main punishment was not eating dessert. You wouldn't have to roll around in dung, or you wouldn't have to you do that. There would be no shooting. There was no shooting at all at this school. So it just my boarding school experience does not at all do this experience justice at this agape school. Now, you talk about the word agape. The word agape means like brotherly love. So that this is kind of an oxymoron, yes?
Oh yeah, that's I don't get it. It's that's definitely not brotherly love. It's false advertising. Not only do you not get the animal therapy, you don't get the brotherly love. I mean, it's terrible.
Kind of like you being talented is an oxymoron, but
I'm clearly one of the most talented people in the business, Trent. You could be a hater, but haters gonna hate. You know what I'm saying?
Haters gonna hate. You just have to shake it off.
I just shake it off and try to act like it doesn't affect me, but I'm okay. I'll try to pull myself together. During court proceedings on June 7th, this was an interesting story, Trent. This one's really good. In an Albany City court in New York, a defendant who started filming an arraignment was asked to stop. ABC New York reported during the altercation that followed, a 34-year-old woman in the audience allegedly released hundreds of cockroaches. Somehow she got into the courtroom with hundreds of cockroaches. She had plastic containers with these cockroaches in the courtroom, and it resulted in the courthouse being closed for the rest of the day for fumigation. And I guess it was supposed to be some form of advocacy or activism. And clearly law enforcement did not believe it was that. It was criminal behavior, in their opinion, with intent to disrupt the proceedings and cause damage, noted from the Office of Court Administration. That's what happened.
But let me ask you this, though. Whenever you go into courtrooms, normally you have to go through so much security that they know everything you have on your person, and if something's in a bag, obviously they're going to check it. The security guards missed the cockroaches going into the courtroom.
Yeah, is there any chance that they told security that these are my comfort animals? What do they call those? Sometimes.
How can a cockroach be a comfort animal?
Yeah, it's comforting to have the some people like dogs. I like cockroaches. They're very resilient creatures. They were here long before we were, and they'll probably be here long after the human race has expired. So
Oh
I
yeah.
have an appreciation for them, and they are my comfort animal. And then the security guard has to let them in.
I mean, do you have documentation indicating that this is the case?
It's just a theory, Trent. It's just a theory.
It's just a theory. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Just
But hey, speaking of cockroaches, I had a band. My band leader, his name is Harry Havery. That's his real name. He really tricked us, but he tricked us with fake cockroaches one time because he got some fake cockroaches. I don't know why he had them. Maybe I know what it was. He was performing in an elementary school, and he decided that, hey, I'm going to freak the kids out at the school by bringing cockroaches and letting them see them. And I'm like, that's a genius idea, Harry. They're not going to be able to sleep for 3 days after that, probably. So he did. He brought them, and he decided that he wanted to entertain some adults and use the same method. Well, he brought cockroaches to my church practice one day because he was the leader. He was the worship leader at my church one time. And next thing you know, my grandmother sat at her keyboard and saw a cockroach, and she about fell off the stage, legit, about scared the living daylights out of her. So I know exactly how it is, and I know how scary they can be. She was not comforted. Neither was my sister. I told this story on the show one time where I was a younger child. My sister was
it's
about.
No excuse, Trent. It's no excuse.
I know my sister was about. My older sister, she's 13 now. So she was about 9 at the time. It's about 4 years ago. I decided I'm gonna put a fake cockroach under her pillow. So I did, and I asked her. I said I had her come in the room for a second. I said, Nora, there's something under your pillow. I don't know what it is. And she lifted up the pillow. She had some choice words for me. Oh, it was crazy. I felt bad for her.
It's so mean, Trent. It's so mean.
I know, but that's what big brothers are supposed to do. They're supposed to joke with their sisters sometimes.
Big brothers are supposed to scare the absolute shit out of their sisters sometimes. It's just, it's the way it is.
Literally and figuratively.
You got another one out here, Trent. A 25. Check this one out. Do you have any experience with horses? With horsies?
I like horses.
Yeah.
I
think the proper English is horsies, Trent. Horsies.
Horsies?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Horsies.
I don't know what English class you took.
Yeah.
But it's as far as I know, it's called horses. But who does have experience with horses, and that's Lil Nas X.
Oh yeah, I like Lil Nas X. Industry baby.
He took his horse to the Old Town Road.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go down to Old Kings Road. Oh no, wait, that's not. It's another place.
Old Town Road.
Oh, it's Old Town Road.
Ride till he can't no more.
Oh yeah, I know that one. That one too. I'm into that song.
Yeah,
too.
That's good. But what about horses? What do you have to tell me about?
All right, so a 25-year-old Russian man, identified as Vasily, was out with his friends on December 9th. So this was a couple months ago in St. Petersburg, where he encountered 2 women riding a horse through the streets. Now, right away, to me, this is a little weird. Like, it's Trent. It's not 1730. It's 2022. Correct. You don't normally see 2 women riding on a horse down the street. I mean, what would you do?
Normally, you ride horses on trails or in pastures and things like that.
For me, anyway, his reaction to this whole thing was to walk up to the horse. Okay, so he decided he wanted to pet the horse, according to this report. He's going to walk up, he's going to pet the horse, and one of the riders said that he offered a carrot to the horse. You know what that horse did, Trent?
What did he do?
That horse bit Vasily's nose off.
What?
And spit it out. I kid you not. Bit his nose off, spit it out. However, luckily, the missing piece of his nose was retrieved, and doctors were able to sew it back into place. But they expect there will be scarring. He's going to remember. There's another story here. Witnesses say in one of the police reports that he was very drunk and he actually kissed the horse, and that's why the horse bit his nose off.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Good
That
for the
story
horse. I
makes a little
understand.
more sense to me.
I understand now. A drunk man trying to kiss you, there's no telling the guy's intoxicated. I mean, obviously the horse is an animal, but he still knows that something isn't right with this man's behavior. So I mean, he's defending himself. He's trying to bite the guy to make sure to tell him, hey, don't do anything weird. First of all, I would not get up to a horse's face, in general, even if I was stone cold sober, because I don't know what they're gonna do.
It depends on the horse to me. I could see it depends on the horse, Trent. If it's a horse with personality, maybe I might try to kiss it. No, but honestly, if I see two women riding a horse down the street, it would be such a foreign thing for me to see. Being from the Bronx, my reaction would not be to go up and pet it and kiss the horse. I mean, my reaction would be one of horror. I would probably scream bloody murder. Like, there's a ghost, I've never seen anything like that before. It would be complete shock. It would be like I saw Dracula or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not going to, and then to try to kiss this horrific monster thing that I've never seen before. It's like, oh, look, it's Wolfman. Let me go kiss him. I wouldn't do that. Would you kiss the Wolfman, Trent?
No, I would not even. I wouldn't even get near the Wolfman.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a creature from the Black Lagoon. Here's a carrot. It's not. That's how crazy it would be for me to see two wolves down the street. But I guess I was born in this century.
I do have a friend of mine that rides a horse down the trail. That's different. Yeah. I mean, they have a good time. They do it every week. They have she has a pasture. My friend, who's also his name is Sharon. She has a pasture out here in the beautiful Central Florida, and she rides her horse out there every day, or not every day, but several times per week. And even on the weekend, she goes out to different trails and rides out there too. But I've never seen her ride down her street on a horse. It just I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's you have to admit that's a little odd, Trent. A little bit.
Yes,
odd.
It is. But anyway, you know what else is? It's not really odd, but it's innovative. Gen Z. I am Gen Z because I'm a young guy. I'm only 23 years old. I'll be 24 a month from Saturday.
Are you sure about that, Trent? You're only 23.
I'm positive. I'm not like you. I act my age, not my shoe size.
Let's see. Who's the Big Bopper?
The Big Bopper?
Yeah.
He was a singer from the 1950s.
There's no way a 23-year-old knows that. I call bullshit.
Exactly.
I feel like you're older than me. There's no doubt I'm 50.
Right. Yeah. Well, at least I acted. Gen Z.
You do act 50. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but anyway, the Gen Z find people of my generation are starting to find new uses for social media. TikTok is not always used for dance crazes and things like that, but people in my generation are learning new hobbies, such as, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Origami. That's those paper kind of objects and other things.
Yeah.
Roller skating. They're watching clips on social media, learning how to roller skate.
Yeah.
Tie-dyeing is another thing, and very many others. There was a survey that found 3/4 of the 1,500 participants who picked up new hobbies just by watching clips on TikTok.
So they're learning all these new hobbies. What's the one thing that jumps out to me right away is like, it's a big deal that I'm learning. It was just something you did. It was like you knew how to do it. It's.
I mean, I understand. I mean, it's pretty innovative because you look at not just TikTok, but you look at Facebook and especially like YouTube. YouTube is a big one because you can go on there and get tutorials for everything. If you needed to learn how to change a tire, you could go on YouTube and look up how to change a tire and get those techniques that people use. That's not necessarily a hobby, but if you had to change a tire, for necessities, you could also, you're a big telescope guy, people, you post the, your telescope videos on the Super Radio Brother highlights just by watching, somebody could scroll on those and look at those.
I learned how to use my telescope on YouTube.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And that's a hobby for you, because whenever the sky is clear, you have it out there looking, you know.
Yep.
So I'm just saying. And also it goes on to say that the recipient, the more than 3/4 of the participants said that they spent more than 4 hours per week watching different clips on social media and learning new hobbies. So how about that? That's neat.
Have you learned, are you thinking about getting into any new hobbies, Trent?
I mean, I go on YouTube to, you know, my hobby. I play drums, as you know. You know, I'm a musician, so I go on YouTube to find some drum tutorials on how to play specific songs. You know, I like to learn how to play the songs like they sounded on the record, and definitely add my twist to it. But I go on YouTube trying to find new things, learning new hobbies per se. I can't say that I've actually done that, but I've gone on YouTube, like I just talked about, to find tutorials on how to do things. I mean, it's very useful.
You know what they call that, Trent? We are living in the age of information, and it's an incredible thing. Information, infinite information at our fingertips. World where the Alexandria Library crisp and all knowledge was lost from the ancient world. But today, all knowledge of all time available at your fingertips. It's really amazing.
Absolutely. You know, that's what it's all about. And also, you have to realize too that people can learn from you. So
people are learning from me all the time. I have so much to teach, mainly how to sing. Because I don't know if you know, Trent, but I'm a world class singer. I'm very good.
I've only heard that from you. I haven't heard that from anybody else.
A lot of people are talking about it, Trent. A lot of people are talking about it. They're like, "Whoa, whoa, that dude."
That's
Rich.
Funny because they haven't talked to me.
Oh, you just gotta get yourself out there, and the more people you run into on the street, eventually someone's gonna tell you, you know, that guy Rich, whoa, world class singer. So just think about that. Yeah. You know, don't be intimidated by it or anything. I'm still a human just like you. I'm just an excellent singer.
Oh no, I understand.
So anyway, this was an interesting story, Trent. You know, these days. Inflation, crazy gas prices. I mean, it costs a ton of money to fill up the gas tank right now. It's no joke. People are hurting out there right now, and it hurts.
Over $5 a gallon in some places.
Oh, it's awful, and it hurts a lot to fill up the gas tank. It just does. That's what's going on right now for everybody. This dude out in Massachusetts. He's owned a gas station since 1973, and all of a sudden now, Trent, he's decided enough is enough. I will no longer sell gasoline. He says, I don't want to be a part of it anymore. This is the biggest ripoff that has ever happened to people in my lifetime. Again, he's owned this gas station since 1973. So he doesn't want to sell, you know, hey, he says, I still do oil changes, but I don't sell gas anymore. That sounds like a terrible business model to me, doesn't it, Trent? I mean, a gas station that doesn't sell gas?
Oh, yeah, that's a crazy business model for sure.
I mean, could you imagine, like, all of a sudden Popeyes stops selling chicken? You know,
love that chicken from Popeye,
but not today. You know,
yeah,
because the chicken industry is ripping off poultry lovers all over the country, and Popeyes will not sell chicken anymore. Only spicy Cajun mashed potatoes. We're putting our foot down. No more chicken at Popeyes.
Well, their mashed potatoes are pretty good, but I mean, they're
can you
better
imagine them without chicken?
They're better if you have chicken with it. That's what I'm saying.
Trent, what if Staples stopped selling Staples? I mean,
I know.
The world would fall on its face. There would be a lot of loose paper. A lot of loose paper.
What if McDonald's stopped serving fries?
Or Burger King stopped selling burgers?
That's right.
Or Target stopped selling Targets? I don't know if that last one works, but you know what I'm saying.
I could have gone without the last one, but yeah.
Anyway, I think he's trying to do something good, but it lacks common sense. It lacks sense.
Sure. It's not sensical at all. No, it's not.
I'm desensitized from the sensical nature of this insensitive story.
Hey, when was the last time you had to fill your gas tank up?
The other day, I've gone away from trying to fill the tank because I used to want to fill the tank. Now I kind of budget myself. Well, let me just put in 50 and see where it gets me, and it's usually not that far. It's not that.
Not
good.
These days.
Not these days. It's not going to get you.
If you're going, let's see. Let me just do some quick math here. So let's just an estimate. Let's say gas is $5 per gallon. You put $50 in there. You're only putting 10 gallons in your tank because 5 times 10 is 50. So.
You lost me with the math, Trent. I'm sorry. I have a very short attention span, and I was trying to follow, but it was just too complicated.
I know, that I did learn a thing or two whenever I was in college, and I did graduate.
Oh, that's what I missed.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious! So let's see, real estate, Trent. I know that we've got the real estate market on mind here today.
Yes, we actually do. That's a great segue. Real estate. A couple in Chicago purchased and decided to renovate a home, but about that, there was one big issue. But after they listed it on the market, they found out that someone was actually already living there. So a contractor showed up to do some work to try to renovate the home, and he told the couple that, "I'm sorry, we've already got people living here. You can't do anything with it."
Oops.
Sorry. You realized the locks were already changed too, so that should have said something.
What? So, oh my God! How do you sell a house that somebody's already living in? I'm so confused. How does this happen?
And they were throwing a fit. The couple was like, "Oh my gosh, we can't do this. This is unacceptable." And they filed a police report, and the police said that because these individuals already bought the lease, and the lease was signed, and everything was documented, they did it perfectly legally. So you can't. There's no way of getting that house back that they had.
That's sad, Trent. That's very sad. But you know what? Maybe sometimes it's not worth owning a home. You know that? Maybe sometimes.
But where would you live?
Maybe. Well, that's true. Where would I live? Maybe I'll just live in the jungle, and be like,
"Welcome to the jungle."
Be organic, live in a tree or something, like a gnome. Gnomes live in trees, right?
Oh yeah.
I know the Keebler elves do. They make cookies in trees, but. Maybe I would do something like that. There's too much. There are too many problems, or even it's not worth living in an $8 million mansion. What would you think about living in an $8 million mansion?
Whoa, $8 million mansion! Wow, that's insane. Don't you like mansions? I mean, they're pretty cool.
It's a lot of house. It's a lot of house to take care of. I feel like I would neglect. There's a lot of rooms.
Have you ever had a dream of living in a mansion one day?
Well, if I could find the proper help, Trent. We need a staff.
Oh, yeah.
I need a staff to, because like I said, there's going to be a lot of room neglect. I feel like there are going to be a lot of rooms I don't get into, and that would be a shame. They would fall into disrepair. Speaking of which, how about this story? And finally, Trent, teens, a bunch of teens. You're not a teen anymore, but you were a teen not too long ago.
Only about 3 years ago.
So, but I don't think you've ever gotten into any shenanigans like this, or maybe you have. Teens broke into an $8 million Florida mansion, held boxing matches during house parties.
Whoa.
That sounds awesome. No, wait, maybe I shouldn't say that. And dude, there's videos and posts and TikToks all over social media. I mean, it is wild how huge that is. This is them now. You hear that?
Oh yeah, they're fighting right now.
They're cursing and they're boxing each other and they're drinking and they're having a great time, but it's not their home. It's not their home, and they haven't been caught, Trent. Sheriff's office in Florida is searching for the young adults who they say broke into an $8 million seaside home, threw a party, vandalized the property in the process, posted video evidence on social media. I'm telling you, there are videos. Some 200 young adults were partying in this $8 million mansion. The owners of the home had no idea anything was going on. Videos are circulating on Snapchat, Instagram, other social media platforms. Some of the highlights including people attending, turning the foyer of the $8 million home into a boxing ring. Videos and photos showed young adults smoking in what appeared to be a theater room, drinking, boxing, play fighting. One photo showed a dude wearing a handful of gold rings he found in the home. Complete violation. Sheriff's office is now asking those who ransacked the home to come forward. Just come forward, all right, before the evidence does it in for them, because obviously their faces are all over these videos. So
basically what they're saying is, you're so stupid to do that in the first place. But number two, you realize everything is on video these days. You're going to be caught eventually. So why not? You realize in the back of your head, well, they probably don't. They think that they got up unscathed and they're free and everything. Yeah, no. What happens in the dark is going to come to the light, as my mom said years ago. So
the sheriff's office put out a statement to that effect, Trent. It said, you may think Snapchat is private. It isn't private. You may think if you're a teenager or someone in their early 20s that you're not yet worldly. Your friends will snitch. Words get out. You're going to get busted. You'll be tagged in pics on the gram. We're going to find you. So, see, the cops think they're cool, Trent. They called it the gram.
Yeah, this is probably like a 60-something-year-old guy calling it the gram.
Yeah,
I don't know who wrote the statement, but anyway, you talk about house parties. There was one big time, but my granddad was not necessarily. I wouldn't say the victim of the house party, but his house was the place where a huge house party happened one time, it wasn't nobody really broke in because my uncle, which would be his brother, had the code, had the combination to get in his house. So you can't necessarily say that he broke in because he had all the information. But you talk about really messing up his house. My granddad was away on vacation with his wife at the time, and my uncle came over to his house and decided, hey, it's July 3rd, July 4th. Which, by the way, that's coming up. We're going to set off some fireworks. We're going to set off some fireworks in the backyard out by the pool, just having a good old time. Not to worry about anything. Next thing you know, speaking of snitch, it was so loud that when my granddad got back, the neighbors actually snitched on my uncle and his family because my uncle actually lied to him. My granddad said, hey, was there anything, did you come to my house whenever I was gone? And he goes, no, I don't remember anything. And my uncle was so drunk that he probably wouldn't remember it. But I mean, because he set out the fireworks, he almost burned his hand a few times whenever he was doing it. So that's no fun. I mean, whenever you get that intoxicated, you better not have any fireworks or anything like that in your hand because that's an injury waiting to happen. So yeah, let's just say that. But yes, my grandfather was a victim of a house party one time, and I know how those work, and they're not very fun, especially for the homeowner. But those teens, don't be surprised if you see some breaking news in the next week. They're in the big house.
I just know a couple of things. We would get together and have parties when I was a kid, but we never did anything cool like have boxing matches and do crazy shit like that. Maybe a nice game of Connect Four.
Connect Four? Who plays Connect Four anymore? I mean,
no one could win. But we'd have a nice game or a long game of Monopoly.
Did you have any pizza? Did you bring pizza or something?
Pizza, Monopoly, 7 hours, some beer. It's.
How about cooking on the grill?
Oh yeah, yeah. Get some grilling going. Never boxing though. It'd be great if me and my friends just beat the shit out of each other and hang out
You know,
there.
it's funny. You say never boxing, but during Boxing Day, my mom had a party one time. She during Boxing Day, like during the holidays, she boxed up her gifts.
That's not the kind of
Oh,
boxing I'm talking about, Trent. That's
I
not
know,
what
but
I'm talking about.
I had to turn it around.
Oh, it's yeah. You turned me around. I'm sick now. I'm sick after that. You know, but speaking of sick, you know what the craziest point of this story is, and you really got to
What's
think
that?
about this one, Trent. Think about this one. $8 million mansion, right? $8 million mansion. Yet the owners can't afford a Ring doorbell. Wouldn't you think that anything fishy or crazy starts happening at this $8 million mansion, video would be immediately sent to their phones?
I mean, that's my grandfather has Ring, and every time that there's motion at his front door, he gets a meow, little notification that says, you know, hey, there's motion at your front door. You better watch out.
Oh, so do my parents. And guess what? My parents don't live in an $8 million mansion, yet they have a Ring doorbell.
Do you have a Ring doorbell?
Of course I do. This is 2022. Yet these people have an $8 million mansion, and somehow 200 young idiots break into their home, drink, have boxing matches. They don't play Monopoly. They do cooler stuff than that. And yet the owners of this $8 million mansion have no idea what's going on at their house. This
Hey, I have
dumb-
a friend of mine that bought these cameras. I think they're made by Apple, but they bought these cameras that they put basically inside their house, outside their house. So, like a friend of mine will use their pool every now, and I will use their pool every now and then. But we walked over there back on Friday. Yeah, it was a Friday night. You know, it was the weekend. I wanted to, swim in the pool. It was the last day before some thunderstorms rolled in on the Saturday and into Sunday. So, but anyway, that's beside the point. We walked in, and all of a sudden, their cameras started speaking to us. You know, I'm sure it alerted them that there was motion at their front door, but it also alerted us that we were being recorded. You know, it said something like, "Hi, you are now being recorded. So please watch what you say, or please watch what you do." You know that if the teams found out that they were recorded, or if they had some type of security system, they meaning the owners of the $8 million mansion, this wouldn't have happened. Rich, this could have been avoided, because if you're being recorded, you're probably going to haul butt out of there.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're not going to stick around for that. It's too dangerous. You can't be seen, right?
Absolutely right.
Unbelievable. Well, there you go. That, my friends,